It Feeds is the story of a young girl who insists that a entity is feeding on her. Cynthia, played by Ashley Greene, portrays a clairvoyant therapist who must confront her own personal demons to save the girl before she is taken completely. Randall, played by Shawn Ashmore, takes on the role of the anguished father, desperately struggling to protect his daughter. Chad Archibald is pretty much a horror veteran at the time. He has been directing horror movies for the last couple of decades, and he has directed films such as Bite and I'll Take Your Dead. It Feeds is a pretty solid indie horror film. It's not often that I get scared or startled by horror movies because I've seen so many, but this film gave me quite a few jumps. I think this film is probably one of the noisiest films I've seen in a while. Every time something scary happens, there's like a screeching sound, and the sound goes way up, and usually I don't like that in films. Usually I think that kind of gimmicky and kind of cheap, but in this film, that the sound design combined with the practical effects, because the demons in this film, they suddenly appear behind the person that they're feeding off, and they appear very, very quickly. And when we see them, the practical effects are very, very good, and they look very, very scary. And their presence combined with the sound design combines to make some very effective jump scares. And the film has quite a few twists and turns along the way. Like, it starts off with Ashley Greene's daughter. She goes to investigate this little girl who thinks she's been feeding off, and when she goes to investigate, she goes to her house and finds that her father is kind of like a serial killer maybe, and then Ashley Greene's daughter gets kidnapped, and then she escapes, and then the father, Shawn Ashmore, goes on the run, and then there's all these little twists and turns along the way, and the plot keeps changing and going. It's just to keep you on your toes, and it was always entertaining. And the film kind of has like a very touching backstory of how Ashley Greene, she has this like clairvoyant ability where she can like touch somebody, and she can see if in their brain and see if they have some kind of demon, and that ability was passed on from her mother, and she's going to pass it on to her daughter. And her husband also had the same ability, and her husband passed away a while ago, trying to help somebody, but he couldn't. After trying to help somebody, he couldn't deal with the aftermath. And so that film has kind of like a nice backstory of Ashley Greene and her daughter trying to deal with this ability that they have. I give It Feeds 3.5 stars out of 5. I definitely recommend checking out this indie horror film. The combination of the practical effects of the demons and the very noisy sound effects and sound design combined to make some really solid jump scares, and the story keeps changing and twisting as it goes along, and has some engaging characters like Ashley Greene and her daughter and Shawn Ashmore. So I definitely recommend checking out It Feeds. Thanks for watching. What did you think of It Feeds? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.